Jill McCune or McCure? I'm not sure if it's an R and an N.
Good evening. My name is Jill McCune. This year I have a 7th grader at Deerpark Middle School. My son will travel to school via the newly created walk zone. As you know, Deerpark parents are gravely concerned about the safety of this route. Many of us have contacted you stating our concerns and have provided you with information about the hazards of this walking route. We have asked the board and administration repeatedly how the district will deal with the hazards we have identified. In response, we have received a uniform response that these hazards will be dealt with, and I quote, by helping to educate parents and students on safety tips. We noticed an article added to the Round Rock School District website on Monday that contains safety tips. However, most of those tips relate to stranger danger and not collision avoidance. The Round Rock School District safety tips advise students not to accept rides from strangers. It's a good thing that Austin Johnson did not follow this advice. He did accept a ride from a stranger. That stranger was driving the ambulance. Safety tips advise students to always walk or bike with other students. Austin Johnson was in fact riding his bike with another student, and that did not keep the car at Amasia and Anderson Mill from hitting him. The Round Rock School District safety tips advise students to be alert. What about advising the drivers to be alert? Who will advise the drivers exiting the IMT apartment complex to be alert? What safety tips has the district provided to those drivers? The cars will be crossing the student path with no traffic controls at a rate of 1 car every 10 to 20 seconds. What safety tips has the district provided to those drivers? What safety tips will you provide to the drivers on Tomeo Drive? I'm referring to the 1 car every seconds on Tomeo Drive. They'll be intersecting student paths in the dark. These drivers have no stop signs, and the students will cross Tomeo with no traffic controls. These drivers have a 2.3 seconds of visibility. Perhaps you should provide them with the safety tip that they should attend Reflex Improvement School. It's only a matter of time before another child dies on Anderson Mill. When a school administrator is asked to speak at a funeral, it'll come as little comfort to say that the child was provided with safety tips. Safety tips are not the answer. Safety is the answer. These students need a safe route, and Anderson Mill is not a safe route. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Rob. Okay, thank you. I'm going to ask you to pronounce your name for them as well. Thank you.
Good evening. I have a 7th grader at Deerpark this year. I've given you 2 maps, and I really want to talk about not safety, because you've heard very eloquently some issues about safety already. The 2 maps that I've given you, Map A is the walk zone that was presented to the community and voted on by the board back in March. The circle with the arrow pointing to it is the street that I live on. I was not included in the walk zone in March. You voted that Marimba Trail did not need to be in the walk zone in March. Between March and now, students on Marimba Trail, Grovedale, Steeplechase, Margate, and several other streets were suddenly added to the walk zone. I have several concerns about this. The first concern is communication. I guess this is an obvious rhetorical question, but had not the group of parents behind me put flyers on the doors of all who had students that were going to lose their transportation, I would not have known. I followed this in the spring. I was hoping that you would vote Deerpark to get their buses back, but sometimes you're on the short end of the vote, and that's the way it is. However, I noticed that in the springtime, the children on my street and the surrounding streets were not included in the walk zone, but now they are. The second map shows the walk zone that I downloaded yesterday. Map A is the walk zone as presented to the community and as voted on and approved by the school board members. Map B is somehow the walk zone extended after a vote was taken. My other big concern about this is obvious, the process involved. We know how the process works, and I think the process in general works very well. The administration makes proposals. The school board listens to the various stakeholders. Sometimes in the tough decisions, they're not going to make all the stakeholders happy, but they will eventually study and make a decision that is best for the students. Somehow, the process was manipulated after the fact, or so it seems to me. I think this raises serious questions about the process, and I would ask the school board to first reconsider their vote on the school buses they took in March, and secondly, perhaps investigate how what they voted on in March changed between then and now. Thank you.